This is Yusuf, John the Hut Dweller, or Joseph. Um, how stupid are people in America? I'm assuming this is an American. I don't actually know. Uh, now that I said it, I just realized. Um, American Christianity, Protestantism. Uh, I do realize that the majority don't speak for the actual what Protestantism says it is, and then how the people act. I realize those are two different things. But talking about Palestine with this person, just in comments or whatever, not bickering back and forth or anything like that. Somebody chimed in and said, "Oh, the Palestinians, they were, just going off about him." He said it was the Arab Muslims that took uh, Jerusalem from the Jews in the first place. They stole it away from the Jews. The Jews were expelled after the Bar Kokhba revolt. I think it was, again, my dates are all messed up. 70 AD is when they kicked the Jews out of Jerusalem. When they kicked all the Jews out of Palestine was AD 135, I believe. So the Jews were not allowed in Jerusalem after AD 70. Yeah, probably not all of them left. But when Constantine converted to Christianity and he went and fought the other emperors, uh, those those areas, Christianity was tolerated and it flourished. We know Antioch and Alexandria flourished, and there was Jewish populations there, and they were the first converts. And then you had this new religion really growing fast in the East. And then by the time I believe Theodosius, he actually, this is after Julian the Apostate, he actually said, nope, no more of this crap. We're not going to risk getting a pagan emperor and the persecution starting again. The official religion of Rome is Christianity. So there was no violence when the Christians gained Jerusalem or Egypt or Syria. It was merely the Roman Emperor changing um, from the worship of Sol Invictus or the worship of Mithra as Sol Invictus, to putting Christ up as Sol Invictus, which is just kind of like a title, like Pontiff Maximus. How the Pontiff Maximus was the leader of the pagan many of the religions in Rome, and then the emperor became the Pontiff Maximus at one point, and then now that's what the Pope is. It changed uh, hands, and it means something different than it does today. But uh, you see how that gradually kind of worked into that. That's how Christianity was. Yeah, the Roman Empire was brutal, but when they conquered things, they were pagans, and they had converted to it, starting with, well, long before Constantine. But when Constantine converted, it was kind of a slow progression to how Rome would deal with this religion. And again, it wasn't until the 5th century that they actually said, that's it, it's Christianity. Um, but how ignorant these people are. They actually think, I mean, this is, I run into this a lot, surprisingly. They think that most of the world's Jews have always lived in Jerusalem and Israel, and they were always there until very recently, and then they just came back. Now, I don't know where they get this from, but that's the impression that they have. And I don't know where oh, but no, the Muslims took it from the Jews. No, they were Christians. Well, why would the Christian, be in Jerusalem? They were in, I mean, it's just madness. Sorry, things like this where people, I mean, history does affect you. Uh, you should know the history of your people, and if you're going to argue or talk about things that are right and wrong with the present state of Israel slash Palestine, you've got to understand where that comes from. I mean, how could you even have a concept of it if you don't know the history behind it? Oh, well, the Bible calls this land Israel, and those modern secular nationalist fascists call them so it must be the same. We need to educate people, unfortunately. Peace. Hopefully, I guess.